Hi there and welcome to the next lesson, which is about light and dark colors. Super interesting stuff coming up, so let's get to it. Now, by placing a pale color, which would be this, next to a darker color, it makes the darker color more kind of like advanced and the pale color retreats, meaning that when you see these two different colors, it feels like the darker color is more in front of you. It means it feels like it's closer to you. So that is the mix of using light and dark colors in your drawings. So when you are choosing colors, think about these things. It feels the darker color is more in front of you. Then we have something kind of like a background effect. When you see light and dark color, they change by the background they are placed against. So here we have dark background, and here we have kind of like a pale light background. And when we place the color to the background, the color feels like it's lighter, like here, or darker, like here, when in fact they are the same color. So yet again, this is an effective way to add colors to a drawing. So even if the color is the same, like we have here, it truly changes based on the background color or the color surrounding the color, whether the viewer sees it as light or dark. So this is something to remember when picking colors. There's a lot to remember when picking colors, but this is one concept to keep in mind. Now this is yet again about how we see colors. So you can see in the example image, I have a lot of, like light colors in the drawing. You can see them here. However, when we look at the drawing, it feels that these darker colors are actually more, advancing here, or we see them more prominent. It feels like they are taking a bit more of our focus. And when you see the values, you can see that it's very dark, the dark brown, and it kind of like feels like it's a bit closer to us. So this is an example drawing of how the light and dark colors work. So if you pick colors and you pick like dark colors here and there, it could be that in your drawing they could become a focus point. So that is something to keep in mind. Now in the example drawing that we have here, I've made a very kind of like ugly color choices, ugly color palette and color scheme, just to give you an example of if you have super light colors, there's nothing actually to look at. It all kind of blends in together. The same thing here, when you have super dark colors chosen, it feels like everything is blending together. So there's no, light and dark contrast in the image. But when you have selected a bit more carefully the colors, you can see that there is a difference between the background and kind of like the middle ground here. Now these colors could be more efficiently selected. These could be a bit more, more light, more dark. There could be a better balance. But this is what came to be, and I think it's pretty good. And it's definitely better what you see here. So differentiating light colors and dark colors make the image more pleasant to look at. Now here's another example about light and dark colors. You can see that the colors that I have picked here have the same color value, meaning 82. So if I pick in Clip Studio Paint, I can go to value 82, which would be here. So this is value 82. I can change the hue, I can change the saturation, but still the value would be 82. So when the value is the same, it looks when you are checking values, it looks like this. It's a gray mesh, so to say, or kind of like gray blob. Nothing is differentiated. It all looks the same because the value is the same, even though you can see the colors are different. You can see we have red, we have blue, we have green. You can see these. But when you check the values, which would be this is checking values, meaning you create a color layer. So new color layer, fill it with white or black or gray. But you don't have any saturation on it, which the saturation level would be 0. You have like pure value, and then you can check what values the drawing has. So when checking these values, you can see it doesn't look good. However, these color choices ain't the best. It's not the most optimal. The point was to give you the idea of when you have different values. So you can see the color values 36 to 82, meaning that when I change this, you can see like 27, 30, 42, 58. You can check the value here, 84, 82. So you have a range with those values. Then when you check the values, which would be creating a color layer, then filling it with white, for example, and you can see we can check the values now. That is how you can check whether the drawing actually looks good in black and white, which is super important to do. Because even though this drawing here looks pretty good, it has like nice colors, but when we, put it to black and white, we can see that there's no differentiation between the values at all. So that is how light and dark colors work.